Leanne, are you ready to chirp?
Let's chirp.
Let's do it. All right. Well, hey, Leanne, here we are. We're talking about Chirp. My name is Heather Holloway. We are with Leanne Scott, and we are the co-founders of Chirp. Chirp is this awesome, amazing new content production system that we're going to get into and tell you all about. But first, Leanne, we need to explain who we are and why we are here. So, friend, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how we got here?
Absolutely, Heather. I am delighted to be here. So my name's Leanne Scott, and I, like you say, the co-founder of Chirp. I am originally from South Africa, where I started my entrepreneurial journey, and I am just a born entrepreneur. And so through life, I have tried different things, as we all do. But most importantly, the last probably 18 months, I have been a startup founder building an app. And I have been on the fundraising trail. And so I know how exciting, exhilarating, scary, and heartbreaking raising funds can actually be. But one of the things that I'm most passionate about is how can we automate and systemize things to make sure that us as entrepreneurs, as founders, speakers, coaches, can actually make the most of our time, leverage our time, do as much as we want to, but without wasting time doing the mundane, the repetitive stuff. So mom of one, of a fairy baby, of a real baby who's not so much a baby anymore. I drink far too much coffee and far too much Sauvignon Blanc. But then that's what makes life fun. Like I said, originally from Cape Town, but living in the north of England at the moment with my lovely little family.
Yeah, and what a lovely family it is, and how amazing too. Your partner also speaks digital marketing, so really cool that you have that. And of course, your daughter is like a mini entrepreneur waiting to just break out. So it's very cool to see that it runs in the family. So amazing.
Absolutely. So, Heather, you have got some amazing things happening in your life as well. Tell us a bit about who you are.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much, Leanne. So this is very exciting for me. My name is Heather Holloway. Howdy, everybody. Yeah, born and raised in central Pennsylvania. But for a little while I lived in Florida. That's where I went to college, and I went to a premier entertainment school. And that's when I first found out about content creation and content production. And ever since then, I've worked well, I swear I came out of the womb, Leanne, with a crayon in my hand. I mean, I've been a creative my whole entire life, but I've trying to been where is my lane? How do I fit in? What do I want to do with this talent? And I found that I can create really great, short, compact stories. And that served me very well when I started out in radio and television. I had to create, radio commercials, television commercials. On radio, all you have is the spoken word, and you have to weave a story and you have to create an action through that. So that's really where I really started out. In advertising and content production. But yeah, so central Pennsylvania native. I love baseball. I have a wife. I have a fur baby. We like to go on adventures and do fun things. But and she also talks about digital marketing too. She's in email, she's in texting, so that's very cool. But yeah, I'm a creative soul, man. I love creating and sharing stories and bringing people into a community. And that's why I love this so much, because as a social media marketing agency owner with Holloway Media Services, we were doing one-on-one, bespoke advertising and social media campaigns. Well, now, sis, since you and I combined our powers, we have found an even better way to do that and serve in a greater capacity. So that's a little bit about me.
Fantastic, Heather. And absolutely, who does not want to smile when you get a taste of Heather's energy and excitement and that big smile of hers?
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you're so kind, Leanne. Thank you so much. So let's get into it. We've talked about Chirp, you know, so really, we talked about the name, I should say, but we haven't talked about what Chirp is. So Leanne, what is this fantastic content production system that we've created?
Well, I am so excited about Chirp because Chirp is a content production system that automagically creates a month worth of content for a founder, a startup, an investor, a coach, a consultant from 1 hour of video per month. And what makes it really, really, really cool is that because we batch it, we do 1 hour, we lead the interview for you, we talk about your stories, what you're working on, what you're thinking, and we take that and we thread it through a month's worth of content. So all you have to do is prep and show up for 1 month with either myself or Heather, and we will help you create a month's worth of content in one go.
Yeah. So let me just repeat that for those of you that need that need a second to realize how fantastic this is. We're talking 1 hour of your time per month, hanging with me or Leanne. We're asking you some really great discovery questions about what you have going on, about what is exciting in your business, in your startup, in your coaching practice. What's that juicy goodness that you are trying to break out into the world and provide as a service or a product? You're hanging with us for 1 hour and we create 40 to 60 pieces of content. Is that correct? Did I hear that correct?
You did. You absolutely did. And those 40 to 60 pieces of content is a mixture of Facebook Reels, LinkedIn video, YouTube Shorts, Twitter, TikTok, if you want it, and also your quote graphics and your thought pieces, all of that from 1 hour of video.
Okay, hold on. Record scratch. You're saying I get on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok if I want, Facebook, YouTube, with all of my content. But how are we going to do it, Leanne? That seems like a lot. How does it happen?
Well, that's where the magic of Chirp comes in. So we will take that video and we will use some very clever tech using AI writers, AI video editors, and we'll chop it, we'll snip it, and we'll turn it into snackable content. We'll add your captions, we'll add your branding. All of that will come together, and we'll even schedule it so you know exactly what day, what's going out, and distribute it onto all your platforms. So you will be omnipresent, and people can't but help themselves, but notice what are you working on, and drive that curiosity to reach out and talk to you.
Wonderful. 1 hour of your time a month, kids. 40 to 60 pieces of content scheduled and published for you. Done for you content production system. All you need to do is sit back and watch the interactions roll in. I mean, we do it now. For my agency, we do this exact same system. And Leanne, I know you do too. I have people coming out of the woodwork all the time. I'm getting Facebook messages. I'm getting leads from my website. I'm getting people on LinkedIn that want to talk to me. And I'm like, holy smokes, where's this all coming from? But it's because you said that one thing, two things, consistency and omnipresence.
Yes, absolutely. And those are the key things. So one of the things I find founders tend to get hung up on is the quality of the production. And then also the other thing is, how often should I actually post? Well, you know what? There's two real secrets in there. One is, it almost doesn't matter what you post as long as you are posting every single day. Now that sounds scary for a lot of people, but as long as it is quality content that you are posting and that's feeding the story, that's pulling this little storyline through everything that you post, it doesn't matter because it's valuable. It's only irritating if you're selling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So being consistent every day you post, and the only way you can achieve that, to post every day on every platform, is if you use a scheduler and you have planned out content for a month at a time. And
Yes.
Then the other thing is the quality of the content. Do you really need Hollywood production quality on your content? Absolutely not. Don't get hung up on that. It's about being fast, raw, authentic. That's what people want to see. And Heather, you've actually got the most amazing one-liner that just sums it up so brilliantly. Can you remember what that was?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, Leanne. Yeah, I heard this. Okay, so I'm a Ted Lasso fan. If anybody out there watches Ted Lasso, he's like, I don't know, he's awesome. He's inspiring. He's motivational. Anyways, there's this character on that show. Her name is Keely, and she had this amazing quote, Leanne. It says, "Because as humans, we adapt to accommodate genius. So those that love you will adapt to the non-Hollywood quality production of your content. Because as geniuses, if you have something good to say, we don't mind if your photo's a little grainy. We don't mind if the video's, just a tad choppy. Of course, we want to put our best, a foot out there, right? We want to present in the best format. But with organic social media content, we have to create a bunch of it and keep that system fed, okay? With ads, with print, with billboard. You take your time and you make sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted. The quality is the highest, right? But with social media content, it is bite-sized chunks that a percentage of your audience will see. And so we can't be spending hours and hours and hours on a post.
So I think probably, and just to take that a step further, that just to kind of really drive that point home, think about how long a social post lasts.
Yes.
So Twitter, so a tweet is only has a lifespan of 18 minutes. So can you imagine how many tweets you actually have to send to be seen? So
Yeah.
it's not only the time, but then the time that tweet shows, how many people actually see it. And the algorithms put it in a way that only 7% of your followers see it at any given time, unless you are consistent enough and the algorithms can see that you post every single day, and then it starts slotting you and you have your space in the algorithm. And so you will be shown more often. But here's another very, very important point. It takes the algorithm 90 days minimum to trust that you will show up and keep showing up. So you have to post for 90 days consistently and frequently for it to know to show your content more often over the person who's only posting 3 times a week.
Yeah. And that seems to be the average too with, startups and speakers. I mean, we got a lot going on. We're trying to run businesses as well, but, social media is almost its own business. So, why is Chirp so different? Why is Chirp such a leverage for a startup or a speaker?
Well, I think there's from many angles. The most important thing, if you think, how long does it take you to prepare your social media for the month? So what happens is we go, oh, it's 9 o'clock at night. I haven't posted today. What am I going to post? What am I going to post? So I try and think, okay, I'm going to post this. So I've got to think about what I'm going to post. I've got to write it, delete it, write it, delete it, edit it, as we all do. And then I need to create a graphic or choose a picture to go with it. It probably took me 10 to 15 minutes to do that.
This is assuming you know how to use all of the technology, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Then you do that and you go, okay, right. I'm not going to do this at 9 o'clock at night anymore. I'm going to do this at 9 o'clock in the morning. But, the call comes in, the meeting comes in, so you don't do it consistently. But let's say that you did for 30 days, create a post every single day, and it takes you on average 10 minutes. It normally takes most of us longer than that, but let's be conservative, 10 minutes. That's 4 hours a month for you to create posts every working day of the month that doesn't necessarily have a thread running through it. So they're just kind of random posts.
Yes.
Whereas if you work with Chirp, what we do is we sit down for 1 hour. We plan what's happening, what progress have you made, what milestones have you reached, where do you need help, what the problem is you're solving, or the actual problem and the solution to that problem, all of those different stories that are happening through your month. And we then post that out. We chop it and we post it. So that takes you 1 hour to get a consistent, a congruent message through the month. versus you doing it on your own, hoping for the best and spending 4 hours. What would
Right.
you rather? 1 hour or 4 hours?
Yeah, and that's 4 hours. Again, if you know how to use Canva, if you're out there not stumbling with Chat GPT, if you know how to use the tech, if you know how to schedule a post, if you know how to do all of this stuff, how to add the captions to the videos, how to make sure that the graphics look great. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. If you don't have a content production team, if you don't have a media team, if you don't have a VA that's well equipped with all of those things, you're on the struggle bus. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Heather, what do we create? What my social isn't working. I can't, it takes me hours to do this stuff. 4 hours is light if you know how to use all that stuff. Now, what if
Absolutely.
you got all that time back in your day? What if you got all of that? What if all of your messages too were focused, like you said, Leanne, through a solid storyline, and it leads everybody back to what you're selling? That's the other thing that I see missing from, speakers and coaches and consultants and startups. When they go to post consistently, they're posting, but then they never answer the question, so what? Why are we doing all of this content? We're not using money on advertising, meaning we're not paying Facebook to put our posts out there. We're not paying Instagram. We're not paying YouTube and everybody. Rather, we're using our authenticity to draw folks in, and that's what's going to work the best. That's what's going to work the best. But we have to tie it into something. We have to tie it into your offer, your speech, your talk title, your your investing hopes and dreams, right? And that, I think, is another difference. Is we are digital marketers. We are expert marketers. So we're not here posting fluff for you. We are here to do a job. We are here to get you leads, and we are here to get you booked and funded.
Absolutely spot on. One of the things that often in the startup world that's spoken about is build in public, get visible, be seen. And I find that founders are very shy. They don't know what to say. They don't know where to start. But the thing about humans is that we work with people that we know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And specifically for a startup, sometimes the only opportunity you have to show your grit, your commitment, your passion, your determination, your problem-solving abilities is that 7-minute pitch that you get at a pitch day. So by the time you get there, I can tell you now that the investors in the room have already looked you up on LinkedIn to see who you are, what you're working on, and whether or not this is something that they may be interested in. So if you are not publicly posting, how are you going to share who you are? How are they going to get to know who you are? And video is such an amazing tool for that, because people really get to see who you are, how you present yourself, how passionate you are, and how well you're able to understand what you're working on.
Yes.
So you need to already be building those relationships. And here's the interesting thing. If people, just because they're not chirping back, doesn't mean that they are not watching and listening, because they are. And
Yeah.
I know of so many people who have actually invested off the back of some LinkedIn posts, or bought a product or service off the back of a LinkedIn post. And I encourage you to take advantage of that, because it's something that 10 years ago nobody had access to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to stand out from the other 4,000 startups who are looking for funding, this is your silver bullet.
Yeah, it really is. It is the one-stop shop where you can work with us and continue your grind and your hustle, and spend more time on that passion instead of, creating posts. What do we do? What do we get? What do we say? How do we do it? Because like you said, I want to echo that, for speakers and coaches and consultants, look, for us to get booked as a coach, a consultant, or a speaker, we have to be trusted. How do we show, especially if you're getting started, right? Like, how do you show your expertise? You show it on video. It is social media is the greatest show and tell. Leanne, I know you came from South Africa and, now you're in the UK, but did you ever have show and tell as a kid?
Yes, we did. Absolutely.
That's what this is, right? You get in front of the world, the classroom, if you will, and you show and tell your genius and your authenticity and your stories, and you get that buy-in because they are buying you and not necessarily your tech or your service. They want to know you. We buy from human to human, and the best way to do that is on video. Now, for speakers, coaches, consultants, founders, investors, you want to talk about a time suck. Try to become a video editor. I mean, trying to cut and splice and do this and chop this and blah, blah, blah. We handle all of that. So I want to get back to speakers really quickly. There's 1,000,001 speakers. There's 1,000,001 coaches. I mean, it is a hot industry to get into. So how do you then rise above the noise? Well, the cool thing is there's only so many subjects that we can coach and speak and talk on, right? But no one can do it like you do it. No one has your story, your history, your background. They don't have the grit, the grind, the hustle as you do. And so you have to show that. You have to show meeting planners why you. Why should we care in your story? Have you gone through it? Have you gone through the trials and the tribulations that you're trying to get us through? You now get to present that story over and over again. People get to know you. I mean, I'm doing it now. Again, I can't tell you, Leanne, I'm literally doing this. I'm chirping, and people coming out. I get to go speak on a stage, here, there, and everywhere. I'm asked to be flown out everywhere. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy cool how this stuff works. And guess what? It's organic. I'm not spending any more money than what I'm investing in for the content production. I'm able to take me and throw it into a system at a really super affordable price and get all of this goodness from it. It's amazing.
Absolutely, Heather. And if I remember correctly, are you not flying off somewhere really interesting in June?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to New
Tell us
Orleans to
about
speak.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to New Orleans to talk to speakers about this because this is so important. What I have found working with speeches coaches and consultants is that, one, this stuff takes a lot of time. We already talked about that. Two, the technology, we don't know how to use the technology. Three, what platforms do we need to be on? This answers it all. You're on all of them, omnipresent. Four, I can't stay consistent, Heather. I'm trying to run my business. I'm trying to coach clients. I'm trying to get speaking gigs. This answers all of it. All of it. So yeah, I can't wait to go to New Orleans in June.
Absolutely. I think June is going to be a super busy month for Chirp because you'll be in New Orleans and I am going to London to the London Tech Week.
Yes.
And as of Friday, I'm also off to SAS Street, which I cannot wait to see all the new startups that are there. There are going to be over 4,000 startups and investors, and they're all looking to get noticed. So we need to get them chirping so they can stand out.
That's right. Let's get them chirping, y'all. Okay, so cool. What do you think? We covered it all. We talked about Chirp, how it works, 1 hour video, 40 to 60 pieces of content done for you, scheduled and broadcast. All you need to do is hang with us fun folks for an hour a month, and it's done. So how do we get started?
So the best way to get started is to visit the website, www.chirpit.online. I'm sure we'll add the caption in. Go have a look there. It'll give you a brief outline of how everything works. Choose your package, bronze, silver, gold, and make your payment and sign up, and we'll get chirping on your behalf. So we'll ask you for your style information so that we get all your branding, your colors, your logo, and all of that good stuff. And then we'll book your 1 hour interview. So you can choose to be interviewed or you can follow the recording prompts. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility to get it right first time. And then we will get the process working for you. And you can expect to get your content for approval back in about 7 to 10 days time. So it's actually a really quick turnaround for 1 month's worth of content.
Right. So we need to know, say, if we want to get started, we need to know what are we doing in the next 30 days? Because, we're creating 40 to 60 pieces of content. That's going to take a little while. Plus, we need to get your interview. So, if you're considering working with us and you want to get started right now, just need to think about, okay, what am I doing in the next 30 days? Because that's what we would be creating content for. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you'll see it, it's on a rolling basis. So once we've got your first 30 days worth of content and it's approved, it's scheduled, we'll already be looking to book the next interview so that we can make sure that the next set of content is produced, approved, scheduled, and ready to go out from day 31.
Yeah. And also, let's just talk about really quickly the questions that we're going to ask. So these are discovery questions. And by the way, you're working with two professional marketers. So we're not here just saying like, oh, tell me about your cat. Tell me, what kind of coffee do you like? Tell us about your values. We're going to ask some really great conversations to bring out stories, to bring out your authenticity, to bring out those genuine moments that people are going to be attached to, and you're going to become a magnet to folks. So let's talk about the questions really quickly. So we're going to ask you some pretty cool investigatory questions.
Absolutely, we are. So we have compiled a list of probably about 101 different questions that we know bring out the best content. So depending on who you are, if you're a startup, initially, if your goal is to raise investment, we're going to focus on your pitch deck, and we're going to ask you all those juicy questions around each of your slides that you often don't get to share when you are actually pitching. So we'll make that happen for you. If you're a speaker, we're going to talk specifically about your signature talk and who you are and why you are the best person to deliver that, and different snippets from that signature talk, just to whet the appetite of meeting planners. So depending on who you are, what stage you're at, and what your goal is for the following month. Are you looking for new business? Are you looking for investment? Or are you looking to book more events? We will make sure that you have the right questions to answer that information, to make sure that that is what's going out on video, on social, and in posts.
Yeah, if you're not excited about this, man, check your pulse. This is amazing. This is incredible. 1 hour of your time per month, a month's worth of authentic, genuine content that will make you a magnet to get funded and get booked faster. So get it, y'all. That is chirpit.online. Come check us out. See what we're up to. We are here. We love doing what we do. We are here to serve, and we want you to win. So come check us out, chirpit.online. I'm Heather Holloway.
And I'm Leanne Scott. And together we are Chirp.